What are you doing today that you were not doing 2 months ago?
There's not much that we're doing today that we weren't doing 2 months ago. I've been with the district now 23 months, and we have been in continuous improvement mode, not just in HR, but across the district. So we're continuing to look at our processes, all the things that we do throughout the Human Resources Department to be better. You know, our goal is to be best in class. And so every day we look for opportunities. How can we do that better? What can we do better for our employees? So,
and what was your message by putting this out?
Just to make it clear to our employees that they should feel comfortable coming forward if they have concerns about harassment, retaliation, discrimination, that we need to create a culture and climate where people feel free to come forward.
Do you think that has existed up until now?
I feel that that's an area we can continue to improve in. I really do, because I'm not sure if you're aware of our strategic framework.
Okay.
And one of the main 4 goal areas is our people. We want our people to feel supported, valued, and respected. And so everything we do nowadays is focused on that for our employees. And having transparency and employees feeling comfortable coming forward, you know, we just need to continue to make that known.
So one thing you're doing new is the external team of experts.
Yes.
Has that actually started? Because there was some question about a proposal needing to be developed. So has that external review started?
Well, an RFP was posted on Wednesday, either Tuesday or Wednesday this week. Is due to close on August the 30th. We'll have a committee, an evaluation committee, look at the results of those RFP respondents, and then they will go, we will make a presentation, or should I say a proposal to the board. I believe that'll go to the board on August the 28th, and by the end of the month we should have these experts in place to help us. I'm excited about that. Because as I said earlier, I want us to be the best that we can be in HR. That is my goal and has been since I hit the door 23 months ago. And if these external experts can come in and look at our processes and make recommendations on how we can do it better, I'm committed to us being better.
And there was also a mention of a third-party anonymous hotline. Is that new?
That is not new. That's
okay.
been in existence.
So, so what was the message there? I mean, what's the message as far as setting up this anonymous hotline?
So people feel free to come forth and express their concerns, any complaints that they may have.
And they can do that anonymously?
They can do it anonymously, but it's more effective if it's not anonymous. Because trying to investigate an anonymous complaint is a little more difficult. But if we have a person that we can speak to and get more details on the issues, then we can be more effective in our investigation.
Dr. Joseph told me recently we do not do investigations that are anonymous. Was he wrong about that?
Typically, if you have an investigation and no one has signed their name, you run the risk of going down rabbit holes. You need to be able to have names involved so you can actually talk to someone and find out what the issues are. You know, if a name's involved but a complainant is not involved, then you really can't do a good faith investigation.
So which is it? You're saying people can make anonymous complaints,
yeah, they can.
But Dr. Joseph is saying we don't do investigations based on anonymous complaints.
Well, if there's a name involved, you can ask questions of that person. If somebody's being accused of something, you can ask a question of that person. Did you do this? That person could say yes or no, but you have no way to corroborate it if there wasn't someone who made the complaint. That's what I mean by anonymous.
Can you not go and interview the employees in that person's department?
Possibly, but you run the risk of, if it's not a valid complaint, you run the risk of perhaps characterizing that person in a way that's not fair. We want to be fair to all of our employees. We want to treat them with respect and dignity. And that's why we have this goal about our people being treated respectfully, supported, and valued. And we want to be respectful to all of our employees.
It sounds like you're counting on people it sounds like you're counting on people to confess, which is not human nature.
Mm-hmm. Typically, but again, we want people to be treated with respect and dignity. We want them to come forward, feel comfortable in coming forward to tell us what their concerns and problems are without fear of reprisal or retaliation. And where possible, we want to keep people's names confidential internally, because if people are afraid that perhaps their names are on the news, they're not going to come forward. They're just going to keep it to themselves, or they may leave. And that's the last thing we want to do, is have our good employees to leave because they didn't feel open and free to come to us and express their concerns.
There are lots of people that we've talked to who did come forward and they did not feel like they were heard.
We work really hard to address the concerns of our employees, and we take it very seriously when people say that they have been harassed, retaliated against, or discriminated against. That is really important for me as an HR professional for this district. And I know our leadership supports those values as well.
And that's what you say, but what would you say to the employees who say your department has not actually followed through on that promise? I
want our employees to feel comfortable and confident that they can come to me personally with any concerns that they may have about human resources, because I will take that seriously. Having this third-party firm come in and look at our processes and let us know where we can do better, I welcome their feedback, because I want us to be the best we can be in HR.
So some real quick questions, and I know there are limits as to what you can say. But with Dr. Brayton, he was placed on administrative leave 2 days after our report. What changed in those 2 days?
I cannot comment on Dr. Brayton's case, but I just want to let you know that we follow our processes. We're always in the mode of continuous improvement, and we're happy to have this third-party firm come in and look and see, is there anything we could have done better in that particular case? I feel we did it well, but I'm always open to what we can do better.
You do not think you could have done it better?
I think we always are looking at ways we can shore up and improve processes throughout this organization and in human resources.
But you feel pretty good about the way that investigation was conducted?
We followed our process, and we did an effective job.
Quick question on Mo Carrasco. Did Dr. Joseph tell you he had received a complaint about Mo Carrasco?
Well, Mo Carrasco's situation, that happened a few months ago. I don't remember all the details of it. We did a thorough investigation on that complaint. We actually got a complaint.
After a complaint was received directly. But Dr. Joseph was told by Amy Froh that there was a problem. Did Dr. Joseph tell you that he had been told there was a problem with Mo Carrasco?
We did a full investigation on Mo Carrasco.
So yes or no?
We did a
Dr.
full
Joseph
investigation on Mo Carrasco, and it ended up, and we talked to numerous people. People actually came forward and expressed their concerns, but they had to feel comfortable in coming forward. And there were some reservations because they were afraid they were going to be in the news. But we convinced them that we tried to do our best to keep their names confidential so as not to jeopardize the investigation. And we saw that investigation through even after Mo resigned.
So you're not going to say whether Dr. Joseph told you about that complaint or not?
Well, I say we did the investigation. When we got a
Months later.
When we got a complaint, a written complaint with names involved, we did an investigation.
And the reason I think this is important, you're putting out a news release saying people can make anonymous complaints. But in that case, nothing happened until someone stepped forward with a name.
When you have an anonymous complaint and the person that is supposed to have been the individual that this action was being conducted towards, unless you know who that person is, you can't investigate it. You got to know who did this action, who was it directed towards, and then you can do an investigation. And once we had that information, we jumped on it right away. That investigation was done thoroughly. Even though when he left the organization, we continued to make sure that we had closure in that case.
Okay, I'm going to switch gears because I have like 3 real quick questions I want to ask you. There were allegations against Sharon Pertiller. Just a quick question. Are you investigating those allegations?
Let me say that the HR team works really, really hard every day. I mean, really hard to do the best job that they can for our employees. They're ethical, they're dedicated to making sure that all of our employees are treated fairly, with respect and dignity. And I can say that about all of my HR employees.
It's a really
Last
quick.
question.
It's a really
Last
quick
question.
question. Are you investigating those allegations?
I'm sure if what investigations you're speaking of.
The
but-
allegations against Ms. Pertiller.
Well, I say that we are continually getting better every day. We will have this third-party team come in and look at our processes and our practices and see if any changes or improvements need to be made.
Okay, can you answer one other quick question? Well, why did Lance High resign?
We're done. Thank you.
Okay.
Can you? I mean, this is not about your department. Can you tell me why Lance High
He
resigned?
resigned for personal reasons. I
Okay.
mean, that was pretty clear in his resignation letter.
All right. Any other points? And that's all my questions. Any other points you want to make?
I think our employees should know that I welcome this opportunity for.
It's hard for us.
Your employees can't know it. Your employees can't know it.